Okay. I know that me and the awards are the only thing standing between you and happy hour, so we'll try to make this amusing. I would like the OEM participants to come up. Hopefully you paid attention to the previous one because we're going to handle it in the same way. I'm going to start at the first, we're going to go all the way down, and each of you get a chance to answer. So let's start with Matthias Hofmann from Gemtek. Michael Liao from Humax. Carlos Santos from Kaon. Xavier from Sagemcom. Charles Cheevers from Vantiva. And Mike Talbert from WNC. All right, we swapped out all your batteries, so hopefully everything is working. Why don't you start with just introducing yourself quickly, and then we'll get into the questions.
Okay, yeah, microphone seems to work. So I'm Matthias Hofmann. I'm the Chief Software Architect for Gemtek. Have joined recently to Gemtek, but have been with the Purple Foundation, working in the Purple Foundation for many, many years, probably 6+ years, driving the strategy and driving internally at Intel and MaxLinear, the Purple strategy. From Gemtek perspective, we engaged with Purple about 3 years ago, working together with MaxLinear to provide the OSP platforms, the reference platforms that the Purple Foundation is using these days. So OSP v1 is the Gemtek platform, OSP v2 was done by Gemtek, and we're fully committed to Purple. We think it's a very good thing that the industry is working together towards a common software stack so that we don't have to repeat, do all the repetitive work all the time. So thanks for having us.
All right, Michael.
Hi, my name is Michael Liao. I'm the SVP of Strategy and Planning from Humax Networks. Humax Networks has been in this industry for many years. So our major customers are famous operators and also some retailers as well. So building a server stack, which is easy to port in later on, is definitely the goal. And we do see that Purple is one of the enablers that maybe we can leverage. So this is why we are also devoting ourselves into this Purple Foundation. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. So my name is Carlos Santos. I'm the Global Head of Products for Kaon. Additional to that, I'm also managing the team responsible for all of the Purple developments. So this gives me the title of Head of European R&D. So it's definitely, once again, a pleasure to be here. You know, Kaon is with Purple since day one, pretty much, yeah, since the inception day. For us, it's really, once again, an opportunity to drive the open source, the standardization, bring scale, and we are definitely very committed. We have been challenged through the years. I think this year, 2024, is a game changer, also for Purple. I think I've heard that several times in the sessions today. And that's also why we want to bring more tangible commitment. That's why we are also bringing our reference boards, hopefully starting with one, but we definitely do not want to stop here. And you know, that's our commitment. That's how we're going to show to the foundation, to the partners, to everyone that believes in the project that this is possible. So thank you for the opportunity.
Xavier.
Xavier, Briard. So I'm in charge of our North American piece for the Broadband Solutions business unit at Sagemcom, here based in Dallas, actually. So I'm glad to come to a conference, just traveling from home today with my car for once, not flying anywhere. So Sagemcom, we have been very involved with open source initiatives already for many years. Purple is, of course, one very important now, and that we are focusing on more in the last, I would say, 3-4 years. But we have experience working with OpenWRT already in our middleware with a number of operators. So we know expectations going from, an open source basis or open source, I would say, building bricks to a fully deployable solution. We know there's a lot of work behind it, and we actually are working actively on this. We have Purple Mesh running on our products in a number of networks today. So we have actually deployed it already. And we are now actively working on making Purple OS ready for deployment on our products. And we are also ready to, upstream. We have done that already for Purple Mesh, but we'll continue to do that on Purple OS.
Charles Cheevers, I'm CTO of Vantiva. So as many of you know, Vantiva houses a lot of companies from Cisco SA to Motorola, Aris. And through that journey, we've open sourced the software that runs RDKB today. We've also open sourced the software that is part of the Easy Mesh Purple Mesh standard. So we've had a long history of open source. Currently have 2 board members, John Blackford, who you saw earlier this morning, who's also chair of Broadband Forum. So again, as Wojciech said, that important liaison with Broadband Forum for Purple standards, and Ian Wheelock as well, who also is working on a number of working groups. You need a mic.
I am a mic. Good afternoon, everyone. Mike Talbert. I'm with WNC. I've been involved with Purple as an operator, now as OEM, ODM. It's been an exciting journey. A number of years ago, we had this vision about launching Purple devices, and I think 2024 we will see some of the first production full Purple devices. Very exciting moving forward. My responsibility at WNC is oversee open development platforms, specifically Purple, RDK. I also sit in the Broadband Forum as trying to drive Purple to standards. Appreciate the opportunity.
Great, thank you. First question. Drum roll. As solutions using Purple start to deploy, what changes or enhancements would you recommend?
So I think from the Purple standpoint, what is a very important step that Purple started to take this year is working on the low-level API certification. So that will help us greatly. So as Gemtek, we are supporting all platforms, all silicon platforms that can support Purple. So from that perspective, if the low-level API will be available and certified by the chip suppliers, that will help us greatly on the integration on new hardware platforms and to building new hardware platforms.
Great. Michael?
Yeah, it's very strange because every time I take a microphone, it's really singing a song instead of answering questions. Well, anyway, this sort of makes it easier and soft. So when looking into the open source framework or software stacks, we notice that there are many expectations and also many challenges that we experienced in the past. So when looking into Purple, what Purple can provide to us and what Purple can resolve some of the challenges that we have in the past. For example, in the past, it's more hardware dependent. So all the software you need to build up from scratch, and then on top of that, you need to spend time to refine it, to fine-tune that, and it's not easy to port from one to another platform. So the biggest change that we see based on the Purple is that it's much efficient, just like Carlos mentioned, it's much efficient to develop the software stack that we would like to offer to our customer. So this is basically one of the major changes we see.
That's a tough question to start with, but okay, so 2 points. I think the first one is definitely certification, qualification. That's definitely something, it will help all of us to really understand how mature it is. Yeah, without proper testing, everything that we are doing could be seen academic, right? Sorry, I don't want to, was the best word I could find. The second part is, if you remember my presentation, I show you an iceberg, right? And I put purple below the line of the water. So it really depends. I don't have an answer, to the point answer. I think it's really come to the moment we go carrier grades, we want to deploy these solutions, we are going to find issues, right? And the issues could be seen everywhere, right? So if you are deploying a PON product, you're probably going to struggle a little bit with the PON manager that Purple OS is defining, because probably we've missed something that, BBF 247 as a certification, push for it. I'm just giving an example based on the experience, right? But, it could be seen in a different angle. I was speaking with Walter also this afternoon, and we are facing some issues with ACS, right, so on the Purple Mesh. So these are things that we really need to dig in. So it's very hard to tell you, point by point, but definitely this comes with the experience, and it comes with really going carrier grade life. Yeah, thank you.
Greg?
So actually, as I said earlier, we already deployed Purple Mesh. To do that, we had to spend quite a bit of time to actually improve the code, to be able to certify it through EasyMesh with Release 4. What we think is, from that learning experience, we saw the importance of the testing piece. So I think my colleagues have already, not colleagues, sorry, but partners here have already mentioned the importance of testing. And I think this is something that will benefit from getting, improved, extended, and also get more transparency on the automated tests, the automated test suites, so that everyone can also contribute and perfect that. So I think really the testing piece, and after that the certification process to help us, get code validated faster, will be very helpful. Another point maybe is on the roadmap. The roadmap, I think, is kind of in the works, I would say. There's plans. As more and more people come to the table, I think there's definitely more momentum to clarify the roadmap and give visibility. But I think for us, it's important to also understand what's going to come when, and also be able maybe to influence the roadmap. So I think the roadmap is very important to have a common vision between all the different partners in the ecosystem.
So we were looking for a platform that we could grow on, because we did see changes coming in the wind in terms of the router, or the AP was not just a dumb stack anymore. It had to support faster cadence, faster time to market, more services. We also saw the fact that as a CPE company, we had different access networks and we had different requirements. So from day one, when Purple was initiated, right, we really believed in the philosophy of the high-level and low-level APIs to abstract more cadence at the silicon level and also more cadence at the application level. And as today, as we look at things, I think Igal mentioned network as a service, right? So I think for the service providers to try and figure out a way to monetize broadband more, right, to find that next great service, it's not just 1 gigabit to 2 gigabits to 10 gigabits. There needs to be a platform in the home, and we're still trying to find those applications, right? There are basic applications you must have, like security and Wi-Fi management, but opening up access to the data pipe, opening up access to the home and what's happening to third parties, to revenue share and monetize, you need something like a Purple stack with the foundation that we're building to do that. The older stacks, the proprietary stacks, just dead-ended when it came to that. So we've been trying to do it for a while, but as you know, we've had to support RDK, OpenWRT, other derivatives of those stacks. So again, we're trying to figure out if we can get it all kind of merged, particularly the application and services layer, to try and have some commonality and eventually maybe go to 1 or 2 stacks, maybe 1.
So I think Charles hit on the goal. Agility, time to market, for the operator is key and important. Driving down total cost of ownership. I think Matthias and And Xavier hit on some really important points. Certification. When you get a product from an OEM, it should be purple ready. We should be ready then to integrate an operator's OSS and BSS. This shouldn't be an 18-month project. It should be a 6-month project at most. We're not quite there yet, but I'm going to ask for the silicon providers to make it a little bit easier. I think our timelines need to be able to show this increase in ability to bring products to market much quicker, allowing the operators to spend their time not on working on bringing products to market, but on differentiation with value-added services on top. And I think that is one of the key things that is the vision of Purple, and it's time for us to get to that level. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next question. Michael, we'll start with you this time. With RDKB and the how we're going along with Purple with 3 major carriers planning to deploy, what are your plans in regards to your proprietary router software?
Yeah, that's a very tough question, actually. So been in the industry for long, so our software actually built on several different software framework and software stacks already. So we also build our software libraries based on these different platforms. So in order to fulfill all the requirements from different customers. So as I mentioned, it's always a pain to move those software stacks from one particular hardware platform to the other, mainly because of the integration required and also validation required. Now, based on the Purple, we do see that it's much easier because we resolve some of the previous issues that we found. So eventually, for example, now today, we already have the Purple mesh running on one of our products that deliver to the market. And also, we also have the Wi-Fi sensing running on one of our platform as well, which is also on our demo table. If you are interested, later on, you can walk by and check it out. So based on this experience, we do see that Purple-based frameworks would definitely help to move on smoothly with more application to be built in the future. I won't say that we will drop everything right away, but we do see that Purple will become mainstream eventually, and then the others might be just the branches of software libraries that we possibly the other customers still require, then we still need to maintain for them. So that's basically the view that I see right now.
Great.
Okay. So for Kaon is actually easier because Kaon Broadband, we don't have the legacy with turnkey solutions. So we have always been an open WRT house. We always developed that. Obviously, that development has done with closed drivers integration. And I think that's a good example to start with. What we are now doing internally, because today we have 2 main branches in our internal distribution. We have an open WRT branch and we have a Purple branch. We are merging open WRT into the Purple branch. It's, I think it's natural. All of our development is driven by open source drivers. We are not we are avoiding as much as we can closed drivers, and from a silicon driver's perspective in terms of, for example, Wi-Fi, but also, voice slicks, things like that. So we are trying to avoid as much as possible proprietary solutions that will handicap pretty much our strategy. And once again, our strategy is definitely to be, as Michael was saying, mainstream Purple. We truly believe in that, and that's our direction.
Great.
So at Sagemcom, we have also been working on multiple frameworks like OpenWRT for our own middleware, that we have complemented over the years, many years, with a number of proprietary solutions to address operator requirements. We've also worked and deployed products with RDKB with a mix of open source and proprietary code. We have done that with OpenSync. We have contributed also back to OpenSync. And now Purple, of course, we have today a foundation with Purple OS I guess, implementing all the features that are currently available with Purple OS on our gateway. We can demonstrate that, but we had to complement it for now with some of our proprietary features. For example, our voice stack, just to be, for time to market, to be able to support basically operators that wanted to have solutions that can be deployed faster. Now, that doesn't mean that we will keep them proprietary forever. So our voice stack, for example, we plan to make it an app, run it as part of LCM in a container, which can be used on a need basis by different operators. But we're also looking at some of our proprietary code, for example, for storage management, for Samba over USB, and we have basically decided to contribute that to Purple. So we are talking now about it with the Purple Foundation. So where we see gaps, basically, we'll have a strategy of either contributing, upstreaming code to make Purpleware a better solution for everyone, and we may, in some instances, keep some proprietary code, but put that as apps that, I guess, don't pollute the rest of Purple.
I guess for the last 4 years, probably, the number one question that service providers have asked us is, when is Purple ready for deployment? And of course, we've had a couple of starts, and obviously with the current implementation, that's now where the maturity starts. But if I look back on RDK, for example, the key moment in RDK was when DOCSIS 3.1 arrived, because that was the disruption technology inflection point where everybody said, let's put RDK on 3.1 devices. Kind of doing the same now, I guess, in the Wi-Fi 7 XGS-PON era. The big question is, do you backport, and the cost of backporting. So from a proprietary perspective, we'll probably keep our old stuff on old stuff unless the applications drive in there and make it easier to move. The other thing I'd say is that obviously Vantiva has a homeware OpenWRT-based stack that we've nurtured and developed. From a Purple perspective, we've lobbied within the Purple group to try and get OpenWRT and Purple OS easier at upstreaming OpenWRT into Purple OS and just make it easier, because there's a lot of benefits there, and the OpenWRT community is also developing things a lot more as well. So I think we will, when those apps come and when the requirement for more and more services, I think there'll be a natural inflection point where Purple will pull everything through. It's almost there, and I think we need to keep pushing, obviously. But that app layer and services is where the change will happen, not the nuts and bolts of the stack.
Yeah, so exactly, the nuts and bolts of the stack, that should be open source, and it should have the same performance as proprietary. There shouldn't be any difference there. I'm looking forward to when RDK is also based on open source, so that we can drive things a little bit tighter together. For proprietary solutions, again, I would hope they would be at the higher layer, so that you could distinguish yourselves as an operator, but from a base nuts and bolts functionality, it should be common and it should be open.
Yeah, so we are porting all of the applications that we have to Purple OS right now and to LCM, putting it into containers. We're also looking forward to working with a lot of third parties to build applications, probably to fill some of the gaps that Purple may still have, try to see then what can be contributed, how to contribute that. And I think one of the important points that was also made is to work in Purple and to work close with the open WRT community, not just one way, but multiple ways, so that we also give back to the open WRT community from a software supplier's perspective. Yeah, that's it.
All right, next question, Carlos. Can you describe the impact of Purple's open source framework on the speed of innovation and product development cycles for broadband CPE?
Yeah, I can. I will give you two examples, right, to prove that time to market. So example number one is what we presented today. We were able to do an integration of a service in 1 day. If this is not fast time to market, it's going to be hard to overcome this one. The second example I will give to you and the audience is definitely the how fast it was for Kaon, you know, to pick up one hardware with a specific silicon combination, bring up Purple OS or Purple Aware, yeah, and bring that to another hardware configuration running another silicon, same feature. This is very fast for us to achieve today, obviously, as long as the low-level part is, you know, compliant. Yeah, let's put things like that. Otherwise, it just doesn't compile. But you know, just very two examples of our experience, and you know how we can prove definitely the fast time to market.
From experience, I can say that for us at Sagemcom also, when we wanted to implement an easy mesh compatible solution, we decided to base it off of Purple Mesh. Purple Mesh at that time was not ready for certification with Easy Mesh Release 4, but we worked on it and improved it. And basically the feedback from our team was that it helped a lot in terms of type to market to start from that Purple Mesh stack instead of trying to reuse some of the code. So that's one thing where we had a good example of the benefit of open source and using the Purple solution. After that, basically we continue to invest in improving basically the stack. And my second point left me. So I'm sorry.
So we took a little bit of a different approach to it. We sort of looked a couple of years out and said, okay, we have this growing Purple architecture, and it is an architecture. I mean, it was discussed today about whether we should have a cloud. I think Randy brought it up, whether we should have a cloud with Purple, but it has a cloud. It's in many manifestations. But so we looked at the tier 2, tier 3, just below the AT&T, Verizon, and Orange level, right, in terms of what do those service providers need to move to Purple. And we thought it was like 3 things that we could do as a company. One, obviously develop hardware and devices in Purple stack and help drive the standard to the LCM and application space. 2, extend our device lifecycle management solution to add in an application lifecycle management solution to be able to get the smaller guys the ability to be able to choose their own app vendors and then be able to orchestrate those into the solution, making sure it works and some workflow for testing. I mean, they're containers and it should work. It's in memory space, much lighter testing effort for sure. And the last piece was the professional services side of things, because it's not easy to take what you have today. Your OSS and BSS is different, your workflows are different. So you may want to have some help from people that know how to put this in there. So we kind of put those 3 pieces in place to try and get people from the inertia of it's not just a stack, it's a solution, and here's the 3 elements that you need for that.
So imagine if you had low-level compliance and open source across all the chipset suppliers that we saw up here this afternoon. What would that mean to the operators? That would mean that they could take their BSS and OSS interfaces and modularize them. And that would mean that their time to market would be considerably less, allowing them to then focus on innovation. And I think that's the goal of Purple, and we're starting to see it.
Yeah, I would second what Mike just said. So I think with the certification of the low-level API, but also the high-level API, it will be very fast to bring up new hardware, to make the hardware ready to provide a whole selection of hardware to the operators for the operators' needs in a short time, and then porting the applications like what we've seen today onto the Purple API is then very easy, very fast, and so new gateways can be provided very fast. And to the operator side, I think this was also mentioned by Charles, is once the gateways are working with the OSS, with the BSS, once the workflow is there, then it will be very easy and very fast to deploy new applications, even new value add on existing platforms even, because yeah, you have all the backend systems already that are necessary for it.
Well, it's, I see the clock is approaching to happy hour, so
Right. We'll have a speed round.
I'm going to make it short for my answer. So basically, I think everyone pointed out the benefits and also the most advantage that adapting prpl. So as I mentioned, that now we are more realizing the portable software modules across in different platforms based on the prpl framework. So that means that on the software we developed, we can reuse that and make it refined. And also, we can make the performance more consistent, even change to different platform. So this is basically the most benefit and most impact that we see for today. So on top of that, I believe the benefit to our end user is really the consistent user experience, because this is basically what we would like to deliver to our customers. Okay.
All right. One-word answers this time. Start with you, Xavier. Looking forward, what are the key technology trends or innovations within the broadband CPE space that prpl needs to leverage or contribute to?
Okay, so I prepared a couple. Some have been already mentioned earlier, but energy efficiency, I'm sorry, I'm French and I've been exposed to that. And it's very important for Sagemcom, for our European customers, we know that. So yeah, energy efficiency, I think, is a good domain to continue to, I guess, look for innovations for prpl. And then another one is with also Matter, with I guess, standardization of IoT thanks to Matter. We have products that have been receiving Matter certification already last year, not with prpl, but we look forward to do that now with prpl going forward.
One-word answers.
Oh, one word. Oh, sorry. I never do one word, sorry.
AI, but AI is going to come at a cost, right? Because it's going to need more memory and orchestration of AI models to the edge. So prpl LCM will see prpl LCM.ai added to it, I'm sure.
I'll apologize in advance. 3 words: quality of experience.
I would say power, low latency, and making it even more easy for the application developers to develop applications.
Yeah, so our perspective, gateway is actually one of the very important part for home, bringing outside world into the private environment. So basically security, and also on top of that will be the applications that we would look forward to be enhanced from the whole prpl community. Okay, thanks.
All right, Carlos.
Yeah. So I will go with the in-home connectivity. So everything that comes on top of that, I think that's what we should focus, if it's AI, if it's power management, so everything inside the home, yeah.
All right, my apologies to Charles and Mike that you didn't get the first answer on the questions, but we're out of time. No problem. So appreciate you guys. Very robust answers for this panel. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.